3 fronts, stretching nearly 1,000 miles from the Baltic to the Black Sea. On June 28th, Soviet soldier Alexander Golikov wrote to his wife.
Dear Tonichka, I don't know whether you will ever read these words, but I know for sure that this is my last letter. A fight is on, a heated, deadly fight. Our tank has been hit. Fascists are all around us. The Ostrovsky street is filled with corpses. They look like large, motionless lizards. It is unbearably hot, and I'm thirsty. Your portrait is lying on my knees. I am looking at it into your light blue eyes. Don't cry. You probably won't come to my grave. Will I have a grave?
The day he wrote this letter, Alexander Golikov was killed. The German advance was rapid, up to 40 miles a day, capturing vast areas of the Soviet Union. Arkady Pervintsev was a Russian war correspondent.
Each day is full of human and Russian tragedy. The war goes on, tragic and cruel. Smolensk has fallen. Bessarabia, Tiraspol, Zhytomyr, Minsk, Riga, Orsha, Bobruisk, Novograd-Volhynsky, Kamenetsk-Podolsky, and many others. All have fallen. The Ukraine is ablaze. Belarusia is burning. The fire of war is approaching Central Russia.
Over 3 million Soviet soldiers were captured. German Private Benno Zieser witnessed the tragic procession.
We suddenly saw a broad, earth-brown crocodile slowly shuffling down the road towards us. From it came a subdued hum, like that from a beehive. Prisoners of war, Russians. We quickly moved away from the foul cloud that surrounded them. Then, what we saw transfixed us, and we forgot our nausea. Were these really human beings? These grey-brown figures? These shadows lurching towards us? Moving shapes at their last gasp? Creatures which only some last flicker of will to live enabled them to march. All the misery of the world seemed to be concentrated here.
Battlefield brutality and years of propaganda had created a hatred and a contempt that made the killing of prisoners permissible. 21-year-old Hugo Lapp was a gunner with Panzer Group 23.
Dear Mother, each time when I look in the faces of the captured Russians and I see the scum of their Asian vile, then I am convinced over and over again that this battle is necessary to guarantee the survival of our homeland and culture. Often we don't have time to take prisoners, and in order that they can't attack us from our backs, we bump them off, there and then. All this killing requires strong nerves. One of our lads couldn't take it any longer. He killed himself. He leaves a wife, parents, and 2 children behind. Yours always, your youngest son.
In 6 months, 600,000 Soviet prisoners of war died. In August 1941, Hitler visited the Eastern Front. Euphoric from German victories, the vision of a 1,000-year Reich a new world order was still clear in the mind of the Führer. German tanks were now approaching Moscow. In the Soviet capital, there was panic and fear of total collapse. German Colonel Kress shared the Führer's confidence.
September 1941. There is no need for us to be in a hurry for Moscow. The fact that the Russians are throwing more and more troops against us makes no difference to us. We will take Moscow when we want to.
But the Germans were beginning to respect their enemy.
The Russians are very tenacious in defense and particularly skillful in constructing fortifications. We cannot deny the Bolsheviks' courage and contempt for death. We have not been confronted by such an opponent before.
By December 1941, the Germans had still failed to take Moscow. There would be many years of bloodshed ahead. Then, the United States entered the war.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
After President Roosevelt addressed the nation, George Rodemaker of the U.S. Navy wrote in his diary,
"Well, it's come at last. Japan has bombed the naval base at Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, and the city of Honolulu. Listen to flashes over the radio. The consensus of opinion is that the whole world will be in actual conflict by this afternoon."
A European conflict had become a world war.
Hitler was certain the Russian invasion would be quick and easy. "We have only to kick in the door," he told one of his generals, "and the whole rotten structure will come crashing down." Hitler was not the first commander to underestimate the tenacity of the Russian people and the harshness of the Russian winters. By 1943, many of his soldiers knew they were on a suicide mission. One of them wrote to his wife urging her to remarry. "Gertrude and Klaus need a father," he wrote. "Take a good look at the man of your choice and raise the children to be upright human beings." In 1982, British film researcher Adrian Wood began combing through archives around the world, searching for his version of the Holy Grail, color footage of the Second World War. He discovered hundreds of hours of color footage never seen before. Our program, the second in a three-part series, runs from Pearl Harbor through D-Day and includes footage of the firebombing of German cities.
The Second World War has been seen as a black and white war. Until now. Now, for the first time, you will see the Second World War in color. The images are original. The color is real.
The surprise Japanese attack on December 7, 1941, left the United States shocked and angry. Naval officer Charles Lockwood.
I am just too tired and boiling with rage. How in the hell did those yellow bastards get in? My heart is sick with the thought of the fine ships and good men lost at Pearl Harbor yesterday. They had best enjoy their sneaking victory, for by God, they'll pay for it.
The United States entered the Second World War. A letter home reflected one soldier's feelings.
Dear folks, all of us are rather bewildered at the sudden reality of war. But at the moment, all we can do is wait for orders. It's natural that all of us are ready to fight, because the 350 soldiers who are dead in Hawaii are brothers, and all of us want to strike back at the killers. Our nation will be able to show what she can do when our people are aroused and united. Take care of yourselves. Love, Ken.
Anti-Japanese sentiment swept across America. Japanese who had emigrated to the West Coast to work and raise families the American way fell under suspicion. Japanese-American Kazuko Itoi remembered waiting for the knock on the door.
We wondered when Father's time would come. We expected momentarily